The process of hearing is intricate, involving a sequence of actions and reactions. Why is this information important? Let's take a different approach. This week is being observed as the Week of Sound. And living in or being a part of the Jamaican diaspora, we all know that sound plays a vital role in our culture. One particular kind, with its rhythmic beats and lyrics, often address themes of unity, love, peace, and resistance, contributing to a global movement for social justice and awareness. It has also influenced various genres, showcasing its importance in the world of music. To what do I speak? The great reggae music. Greetings from another episode of Jamaica Magazine. I'm Adrian Atkinson, your host. Stick around as we bring you more content after the upcoming break.
We want Jamaica to be a mediation center.
The court has definitely become more efficient and more sustained over time.
But those were just some of the focus areas and achievements for the Ministry of Justice last year. We have an in-depth analysis of all the achievements. Join us on Wednesday, January 17, 2024, for all the details on what the Ministry of Justice did in 2023.
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, January 16, 2024. The inclusion of a conflict management curriculum in schools is being proposed as a means of reducing violence in the society, particularly among the youth. Prime Minister Andrew Holness made the disclosure while addressing students and teachers at the Manchester High School on Friday. Referencing data, Mr. Holness said a significant percentage of the shootings and murders were committed by young males under 24 years, adding that they were also predominantly the victims of violence.
The social problems that we have become so challenging. They are now at crisis proportion. That the government has to be direct and instrumental in dealing with this problem of violence in a frontal way. We are going to have to incorporate the schools now to deliberately teach in the curriculum how to manage conflict. It is going to have to be a curriculum subject.
Mr. Holness said there would be greater collaboration with the National Parenting Support Commission and educational institutions to reinforce best principles of conflict resolution.
There has to be a solid link between the home and the school. What is being taught in the schools must also be reinforced in the home. So yes, the two-pronged approach. We will be dealing with the schools directly about treating with conflict and about dealing with violence and building peace. And through the National Parenting Support Commission, we will also be carrying this message to parents to see a transformation of our society.
The handover of 4 units under the new social housing program last week have brought the overall distribution to 180. Prime Minister Andrew Holness delivered 1 each to recipients in St. James and Manchester. The remaining 2 units were handed over in St. Elizabeth. Mr. Holness says while the NSHP caters to persons in dire situations, it also takes into consideration accessibility for the disabled.
We have to be, as a country and as a government, far more sensitive to persons with disabilities. That is not just for the ramps. It is simple things like how high or how low you place the switches, the light switches. Someone in a wheelchair might find it very difficult to reach high to flip a switch. Bathroom access. These are all things that we must now consider. So this is now something that will be integrated from the outset into the new social housing program.
program.
Winston Williams, who is a fire victim and became wheelchair-bound after a subsequent stroke, was overcome by gratitude. Another fire victim, Miss Woodsy, who lost her home from a motor vehicle crash, expressed deep appreciation for the program.
Indeed, it is truly a project that is relevant in Jamaica right now, because some people are suffering. Some cases are so demeaning, it's beyond humanity. So I really like to thank the government of Jamaica, my MP, the Prime Minister, and the taxpayers most of all to make this possible.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness is reminding Jamaicans to take every precaution and safeguard themselves and their family from dengue. In a press release, Chief Medical Officer Dr. Jacqueline Bisesa McKenzie stresses that the illness remains a concern for the country. She reveals that as of January 11, there have been 1,534 confirmed dengue cases across the island. In addition, there have been 19 dengue-related deaths, with 13 classified as suspected and 6 as confirmed. According to Dr. Bisesa McKenzie, while dengue serotypes 2, 3, and 4 have been identified among the population, serotype 2 remains the dominant strain. The Health Ministry says all parishes continue to observe dengue cases, with Kingston and St. Andrew reporting the highest number, 1,499 for 2023-2024. St. Thomas continues to be the parish with the highest rate of 696.1 cases per 100,000 in the population, followed by Trelawney at 551.7 and Hanover with 497.5 per 100,000. The highest number of dengue cases are also still observed in the 5 to 14-year-old cohort at a rate of 885.3 cases per 100,000. The government's vision of transforming Jamaica's urban spaces continues with the opening of the Eastern Kingston Promenade on Monday. The 138-panel mural runs along the walls of the Bellevue Hospital on Wynwood Road. The $7 million initiative was funded by the Tourism Product Development Company, TPDCO, and carried out over 2 phases from November 2022 to January 2024. At the ribbon-cutting ceremony, Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett said the endeavor would help to enrich the lives of Jamaicans, build better relationships, and help reduce aggression.
What we can do is to stimulate the senses by providing around them things that motivate them. And art and music and science are motivating. Things that will be joy forever, that will excite people's imagination and drive them to a better sense of themselves, but more importantly, a better appreciation of their place.
Minister Bartlett says the project is a part of the Spruce Up the Corner initiative, which will see all 63 constituencies across Jamaica getting an upgrade. Chief Executive Officer for the Bellevue Hospital, Camille Buchanan, says the beautification project has taken root with residents of the institution.
When our patients pass here, it is a joy to look on the wall, because some of them have been within the institution for over 40 years. This is where they call home. So they do not get the opportunity to go back to their communities. So when they pass and they see the breadfruit on the wall, when they see the cane tree, when they see the people dancing, it gives them an idea, or it puts them back in their various communities.
And finally, several schools across the island will begin conducting earthquake safety drills tomorrow as the country observes Earthquake Awareness Day in schools. It falls under a broader earthquake awareness campaign that was recently launched by the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, ODPEM. The campaign will run until January 31 under the theme Drop, Cover, Hold, Earthquake Readiness is Within Our Control. The Ministry of Education and Youth is advising school administrators to make the most of the day to improve the level of readiness in their institutions. In addition to schools, private and public sector entities will do their safety drills on January 18 and ODPEM on the 19th. The agency will mount earthquake awareness displays at parish libraries across the island and hold a symposium on the 24th to discuss ODPEM's preparedness for seismic events. A roadshow is planned for the 31st. Last year, the country had 2 shocks, one measuring 5.4 in magnitude. For more information on upcoming activities and safety precautions, persons can contact the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management at 876-906-9674-5 or email oddpem@cwjamaica.com. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching. Once upon a time in a Caribbean island known for its rich culture and natural beauty, lived a group of people who were buried in piles and piles and more piles of paper. Papers spanning back to the start of time. Then came a bright idea, harnessing technology to work smarter and not harder. The government of Jamaica is improving its operations to serve citizens better. Many services are now available online, and there's more to come. The government of Jamaica, building a better public sector for all.
The Prime Minister is actively engaged in securing plans and strategizing for Jamaica's future. Up next is Jamaica House Weekly.
On Jamaica House Weekly, more social houses delivered, assessment of infrastructure for national development, and a focus on our youth. These and more coming out of the office of the Prime Minister last week. You're watching Jamaica House Weekly. I'm Marjorie Gordon. Prime Minister Andrew Holness started last week with a tour of key areas in St. James. It included the Montego Bay Perimeter Bypass, where he announced that 60% of the roadway had been excavated. Mr. Holness also indicated that he was particularly pleased with the harmonious labor relations on the project and the effort that had been put into getting the labor force together.
From what I have seen here, significant work and preparation has been done in ensuring that there is labor harmony and training of labor, and that's very important. It is important because we are going to be doing several of these projects right across Jamaica.
He said the $274 million project will open up new investments and development for Montego Bay.
It is going to open up new opportunities for housing, because as we open these corridors to put in the new road, new lands become accessible. But outside of that, industry will also grow.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness also officially opened the rehabilitated gravel lane, which is described as the first brick road in the second city. It was repaired at a cost of $2 million by the St. James Municipal Corporation.
I'm particularly pleased to see this. You can't see it now, but as we walk up this lane, you will see how it has just been lifted purely by changing a rough gravel surface into a smoothly paved area using bricks.
Another stop for Prime Minister Holness was the Montego Bay Comprehensive Health Center. He announced that the Type 5 facility would be expanded through the acquisition of a property adjacent to the health center.
The government is cognizant of the issues we all face in health. We hear your cries daily, and we are moving as quickly as possible to improve our ability to serve you.
The delivery of more units under the new social housing program was part of the Prime Minister's agenda last week. 67-year-old Norma Cooper of Adelphi in St. James received a one-bedroom home, while Miss Woodsey of Manchester Central was happy to receive a two-bedroom unit. Over in St. Elizabeth, Wellesley Mackenzie of Lacovia also received the keys to a one-bedroom unit, while Winston Williams and his family from Cameron Hill District became the proud owners of a three-bedroom house.
Every Jamaican should have access to a good standard of shelter. They should have protection from the element. It should be a place of refuge and security, a place where they can live comfortably and raise their family.
Mr. Holness also made a stop at the Manchester High School and engaged students on conflict resolution and how it can shape a future that fosters harmony and productivity. This, he told them, would position Jamaica towards a prosperous future.
We are going to have to incorporate the schools now to deliberately teach in the curriculum how to manage conflict. It is going to have to be a curriculum subject. We want to say thank you for an amazing legacy.
Last Wednesday, the Prime Minister paid tribute to founder and owner of Digicel, Dennis O'Brien, for 22 years of telecom services in Jamaica.
The people of Jamaica are grateful and proud of what has been built in Digicel.
Later that evening, Mr. Holness lauded Minister of Tourism Edmund Bartlett on the launch of 2 books on his journey and service, as well as the resilience and sustainability of the sector.
He has taken this more than administrative interest in his portfolio and the development of policy. For him, tourism is a passion, and that comes through very, very clearly. He's so passionate about it that he takes academic reflection on the work and tries to document it and to leave well-defined principles for others to be able to follow.
Back at Jamaica House, Prime Minister Andrew Holness met with the executives of the National Prayer Breakfast Committee. He also met with representatives of the Nation Brand Ad Hoc Steering Committee of Cabinet. And that's it for Jamaica House Weekly. Be sure to join us next time for more of the news stories coming out of the office of the Prime Minister.
Ensuring the safety of Jamaica's society and its people is the primary responsibility of the Ministry of National Security. The ministry's focus is on reducing and altogether eliminating crime and violence. Let's see what they managed to achieve in 2023.
The transformation of the force took a major step in 2023.
We continue to expand the quick response unit.
We have also been exposed to greater training that enhance our investigative capability.
And we've also upgraded our microwave system and radio network.
So that's just a minor fraction of the achievements of the Ministry of National Security in 2023. Here's a full recap, and we start with our Honorable Minister, Dr. Horace Chang.
We have been able to continue our investment in the police force. We, in fact, impacted 35 police stations, which brings us near to completing our refurbishing of the police station law program, ROC. We'll, of course, have completed the procurement on a number of further new stations, which will make a significant impact on the police infrastructure, like the new division headquarters in Westmoreland and Spanish Town. We have, in fact, taken the digitization of the force to a higher level. We have completed the radio communication P25 system, and we're in the process of connecting all our police stations across the island. We have recruited 1,263 young Jamaicans who have joined the force, and we have expanded specialized training program at Twickenham Park College.
Basically, the focus of the year 2023 was about people, quality, and technology. Over 2023, we have rolled out our case management system, which is really the database replacement, the electronic replacement of the old station diaries. We have explored and started to implement satellite technology, and we've also upgraded our microwave system and radio network. That will continue into 2024. We received 3,000 additional devices that are part of the traffic ticketing system. Our investments in technology, in cameras, in surveillance equipment has allowed us to keep pace with it, to keep up with what is going on. We've also incorporated more canines into the force. We just got in an additional 23 dogs out of Colombia.
And we're not done yet, because the Ministry of National Security made significant achievements in clearing case files and managing public order on our roadways.
In 2023, as it relates to the strategic priority of crime, control, and reduction, of the 2,970 major crime incidents reported, 1,453 have been cleared through arrest. We have arrested over 517 persons for murder, and in so doing, cleared over 600 murders. Whilst in shooting, we have arrested 385 persons and cleared over 418 cases. In terms of sexual offenses, we have arrested 994 persons and cleared 980 incidents. We have seized a record amount of 1,638 kilos of cocaine, valued at 91.8 million Jamaican dollars. We have attained a level that we have not seen for years within the JCF.
As it relates to the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement branch, I would like to relate 4 achievements of this branch in 2023. We continue to expand the Quick Response Unit, where we are across some 12 divisions at this point in time. And it has aided us in our response to be more quickly to intercept offenders who commit street crimes, as well as to carry out our surveillance activities. We have executed some 500,000 prosecutions so far, and this is 10% ahead of 2022. We also have the successful implementation of the electronic traffic ticket device. So we continue to perform as a branch to ensure that we protect and serve the people of Jamaica.
My portfolio is the Department of Correctional Services, and a few high points for 2023 are that we were able to achieve quite a number of things. We were very successful in the chess competition, an international chess competition, by the way, with our inmates, and out of 50 countries, they were placed 6th. I think that is a very high point. There were 6 inmates receiving bachelor's and associate degree, and 2 correctional officers as well were able to matriculate with bachelor's degree and graduated with honors. We also saw with the Birthright Initiative, 36 of the inmates from the correctional institutions were able to receive birth certificates. If we're going to have reintegration into society, it is going to be important for those inmates to have their birth certificates to move on. Another high point was the parent-child link-up. There was a gym at the Carl Rattray Staff College that was opened as well, and we want to actually expand those services. And for 2024, looking forward to even greater things at DCS.
We have also made some new initiatives in the area of social intervention. Among them that I wish to highlight is the Interministerial Cooperation Group with the Ministry of Education, where we are now focusing on 35 schools with challenges from areas that have social challenges. So we launched out in Western Jamaica a program that we are spreading across the island, the first Child Adolescent Guidance Center and Family Services Unit. And we graduated several psychiatric assistants, which would be essentially counselors with advanced understanding or better understanding of the emotional state of the individual they deal with. The primary legislative event was the review of the Zones of Special Operation Act. We have tabled the corrections policy and we tabled our visa policy, which continues our process of really establishing a stronger legal framework and strong policy framework for law enforcement and national security. Another significant event of 2020 when we were able to settle the compensation package for our police force before March 31st, so we could fit in the total fiscal envelope of the government.
As we continue to equip the police officers with resources, build out infrastructure, and strengthen capacity and partnership, the achievements of the Ministry of National Security will continue.
COVID has taught us many things, and among those is that the dynamics of our environment has shifted somewhat in terms of how people think about themselves in their natural space. I mean, one of the greatest manifestations of that is the workplace. The workplace has changed because of COVID, because Jamaicans, the global citizen, have come to terms with their mortality, now so more than any other time in the world. Because COVID, as I said, has been the greatest equalizer known to man during this last 100 years. Everybody was afraid at some point in time that COVID would have gotten us and would have taken us out. And it never really mattered whether we had money or were poor, whether we were in North America or in Jamaica. And as a human instinct would dictate, many persons are now rethinking how they work, where they work, what time they work, and the concept of self-care and taking care of self, family, community is becoming a lot more relevant. That represents for us an opportunity, particularly because we exist in a pandemic of lifestyle-related ailments. It is how we live that is facilitating our demise to a large extent. The cardiovascular disease, the salts, the sugars, the fats, the tobacco, the alcohol, the lack of rest, the lack of physical activity. We have to get people nudged into greater health-seeking behavior. It cannot just be about cure, it has to be about prevention. And some of it we may have to legislate, like tobacco legislation, like school nutrition policy and what is served in our schools, like sugary drink, our foundation championed that, like the right of people to know what's in their foods, front of package labeling. But the reality is that generally Jamaicans don't like to get a checkup. They go doctor when they're sick. So while we single out men for being a little, afraid, it's better to bear the perception of being violated and detecting your prostate troubles early than to wait until it's too late. And at that stage, the violation don't really matter. So we're going to have to be bold about that and engage in greater community outreach. But I think we have to also advocate for people, Jamaicans, to do their annual screening.
Our program concludes for today, but fret not. Do join us again tomorrow, same time and place for another enlightening lineup. You may visit our website, jis.gov.jm, to re-watch this show or the many others we have there. I'm Adrian Atkinson, thanking you so much for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.